Well, hello and welcome to Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, Arizona. If this is the first time that you have been here, welcome in. Thank you for stopping by. My channel is Suburban Homesteader, Wyoming, WY, and AZ for Arizona. That's because I live in two different places and I garden in two separately, completely different ways. And Auntie Jan is in here. And Lisa, how are ya? I hope you're having a good summer. Hope everybody's having a good summer. It's just like zooming by and it's almost over and it's already September. So it's going fast. But on my channel, I like to show how to be self-sufficient, self-reliant, and self-sustaining. Now, does that make me a prepper? No. I just like those old ways of living, the old ways of thinking, making my brain go, okay, I don't have this, but I have this, and how can I make it work? So that's what I do. Now, we are talking about making it to that garden finish line. How many out there say, I'm so done with garden stuff? I love gardening, but I'm done with it for the year. I've canned all these things. I've dehydrated. I've freeze-dried. I've frozen. I've just done so many things. I'm done. No, that is what a lot of people do. Now, some people more in the South can have a fall garden too. Or if they have a greenhouse, they can extend their season. But here in Wyoming today, the high 67 degrees. And it has been windy like a banshee. I mean, seriously, like a banshee. Tree branches were moving. They have restrictions on the interstates so that if you are under a certain weight, those trailers can't be on it because they think you'll tip over. So that's just one of those things when it comes to living in Wyoming. And just a little side note, next week on my live stream, we're talking about frost because next week I have a video coming out on what is frost? What does it look like? Does it frost when I don't see it that it's frosted? What's white frost? What's black frost? What's freezing fog, freezing rain? All those different things. So we're going to talk about that. But on Thursday, we are actually going to talk more about frost, and we're going to have contests. And when is going to be my first frost date? I looked at the forecast. I'm not going to have frost before next Thursday. And then I'm going to give a $25 Amazon gift card away for the person that gets closest with not going past. And so I'll tell you all about that on Thursday. Lisa says, I'm in Florida, so I'm ready to plant some more because a lot of people do have fall. When I go to Arizona, it doesn't really frost where we go in Yuma. I mean, maybe once in a blue moon, it might frost a little bit, but you can just cover those things for the night and then you're good. And I will begin growing down there too. Auntie Jan says, I don't know. I know it can't be my age, but this summer's heat has been brutal here in Arkansas this year. See, and we have not had a hot summer at all. Only 2 times it barely made it to 100. Maybe 5 or 6 times in the 90s. And the rest of it's been 70s and 80s. And we've probably had more rain. Where Casper, which is only about 2 hours away from us, they have hardly had any rain at all. It just went around Casper Mountain and did not give them any. So it's interesting how different summers in different places. I mean, there's been places with a lot of flooding. There's places that, like Auntie Jan, that it's been brutal. I'm sure some parts of Texas right now has been brutal too. So, but we're going to talk about getting to the finish line. Oh, and Julie's here. I'll be fine with the warmth once the humidity goes away. Won't let it cool at night. See, that's the difference in different parts of the country too. Like we are rarely humid. I mean, I have people that complain about being humid. And then what is it? 16% humidity, 20% humidity. Wyoming doesn't really have humidity. Don't let anybody tell you that they do. It's nothing like on the East Coast when I was there and you'd get out of the shower, you start doing something and you thought, I need to be in the shower again. It's so humid here. And Teresa is here. Hello, how are ya? And Bushcrafty Cooks. Thanks for coming in. What's up? Well, we're talking about the end of the garden season today. What do you have left in your garden? I was over at the community garden today and I was going to take some pictures and maybe I still will tomorrow, some video. But so many people have pulled stuff up. Like I pulled all my garlic, most all my onions, all my potatoes. I've been harvesting tomatoes. My cantaloupes are still not all the way ready, but they'll get there. And when I walked around, there were people that had whole sections of their gardens gone. They had pulled some of their watering systems out. And because probably in a few weeks we will have frost. And none of us have like a greenhouse at our community garden. We're not like an allotment that you get a lot of land with it. But we'll have people that will cover things. They'll make their own little hoop houses, little low tunnels, things like that to protect some tomatoes or watermelons or different things that aren't quite ready. Or maybe they want their peppers to last a little bit longer. Side note, do you know that peppers are perennial? And you could literally dig them up, or if you grew them in a pot, you could bring them inside. They'll live for about 5 years. And they get bigger and bigger. Now, that said, one year my brother brought in a whole bunch of different kinds of peppers. But by Christmas, he was throwing them out because certain peppers are much more aromatic than other peppers. And it was just too strong a pepper smell in his house. So in the chat, tell me, what have you harvested already? You know, uh, because for me, I mean, people are picking all their corn. They're picking tons of tomatoes. I could have picked all my cabbages already. I just haven't because I want to take them with me to Arizona. For me to make my cabbages last longer, I mean, I could make sauerkraut, of course, or I could can it, I could dehydrate it, I could just do a lot of stuff. But if I pull that whole plant up and I can just set it in a box, the root and everything, I can take it down there, hang it upside down, and it will last a long time. So that's what I plan on doing. Julie says, the heat wave made the green beans happy. Only 4 plants, but they're taking off. Isn't it interesting that, like, we had a really cool spring and early summer, and things were growing, but they just weren't growing very much. And then all of a sudden, it gets a little warmer. It's in the 80s and it's in the 90s some days. And man, those plants just take off like overnight. It's just so crazy. Auntie Jan says, my harvest was rocks, 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 and more rocks. And there I'm back again. My screen was going around. It was all black. It was like, oh no. But every time in your garden, you think you've gotten every single rock, every single thing that you should get out of there. And then the next year there's more rocks because they work their way up. The cold and the snow, it freezes and then it contracts when it warms up and it pushes those rocks up. It's really pretty crazy. So in the chat, tell me, what veg have you harvested? I'm going to type that in. What veg have you harvested? So let me know about that. Besides rocks. And once you've harvested, are you canning most of your stuff? Honestly, I probably do can most of my things. Oh, before I forget, I think it was 2 weeks ago, um, somebody in the chat, and I don't know if it was Julie or Dorothy or Shauna, somebody asked me about my big encyclopedia that of gardening. And so I looked through my books, and this is my biggest encyclopedia. Look how thick that is. And it's the A to Z Encyclopedia of Garden Plants. So I think that's probably what you were talking about. But it's literally like 3 inches deep. And it's got so many plants and so many pictures. It's really a great book. I mean, it seriously is a great book. Oh, and Nancy's here. Hey, Nancy girl. And Wayne is in here. You look frozen in time, but what are we talking about? Am I still frozen to you guys? Let me know. We're talking about end of the season and what we've been harvesting and what we're doing with that. Teresa says, can we please pray for your mom? Of course we can. I will put her on my list and we will make sure that we're praying for your mom. Moms are important. My mom just had her 88th birthday the other day. And I was thinking about that how blessed I am to still have my mom and dad. And so for sure, Wayne keeps saying that you're frozen in time. But Julie says, you're fine. Maybe Wayne needs to refresh. Okay, so Wayne, and now he says, oh dear, you may have to restart. Oh, that's weird that it keeps repeating what he's saying though. But Julie, you can see me. Can all the rest of you see me? Nancy, Teresa, Andy, Jan, can you see me? That is so weird. I hope so. But Julie says that you're fine. Maybe Wayne needs to refresh. Julie says, not sure why Wayne's posts keep popping up. Maybe he's having glitches. Maybe. Yeah, because, you know, the internet, it can be crazy. So I thought I would, even though it's the very end of the season. Oh, hi, Cheryl. Cheryl says you're fine. Okay, because it's just so weird if you don't know if it's actually working the way it should be working. So, and I'm going to pull that down. But I'm also getting ready to go to Arizona, and I'm getting plants ready to go to Arizona. Now I have a limited area, right? Limited area of what I can put my plants in. And so, but I just thought I'd show you because I have done videos on seed snails before. So this is a seed snail. This has brandywine tomatoes. And now it may look like that's an awful lot of tomatoes to take to Arizona. There's 25 of them actually. But I have already told 2 of my neighbors and my mom and dad that I'm bringing the plants down and they don't have to go to the store and buy them. But look at already. Look at the roots already coming down through there. Now, once they got up and they got their true leaves, I did start giving them a veggie feed once a week so that it would have enough nutrients because it's very limited in soil. Cheryl says, hi all. And Wayne says, yes, years ago we grew rocks. We pulled out of the garden when I was younger. Yeah, I understand that. Julie says, I've gotten used to year-round gardening it would be weird to clear out everything for the winter. Um, I know it is weird when, um, especially like now I go to Arizona, and so I'm literally gardening basically my entire life. you know, it's not, I I put my garden to bed here. Few days later, I'm in Arizona and I am planting again. And so I can understand Julie being year-round gardening. Um, Now, a thing you may not know, now these tomatoes, the brandywines, their leaves kind of look like potatoes, don't they? Potato leaves. And other tomatoes look very much like we call tomato leaves. There's actually 6 different types of leaves that can grow on tomatoes. 3 of them are more like a potato leaf, and 3 of them are more like a tomato leaf, which I just find totally weird and funny. But that's just the way tomatoes are. Wayne says that I'm fine now. Yes. Um, but no matter what kind of leaves they have, they still have that tomato smell. I love that tomato smell. It's just such a weird, not like anything else kind of smell. And I like it. Now, I have to tell you one thing made me very sad. I did ask one of my daughters if she'd like my banana tree. The other one didn't want it. The other one got the banana last time. And so I put my banana tree, which has 2 pups, 2 baby bananas growing in that big pot, on what we call Bid It. I don't know if you guys have that. It's on Facebook, and it's, I don't know, Bid It, Gillette, Wyoming, something name. It's named something like that. But I sold my banana tree for $40. And so I was very happy, and she was very ecstatic that she got it. And so she's picking it up tomorrow. And I have been selling all my other plants because I have a limited space that I can put my plants, and I have to bring my vegetables. Where a lot of times I have bought them down there, but it's really limited on what I can get. I rarely get the varieties I want. Um, a lot of times you're paying, they want $3, $4 for a plant. I'm just not willing to pay that when I can get a package for less than that. And so I'm just cheap about that, I guess. But I am still bringing all of my amaryllises, and my vanilla bean orchid that I bought last winter in Arizona. I brought it back here. It's actually, once it got warm, it's been on the deck the whole time. It's probably grown 6 inches. And so I am going to bring that down, and I'm actually going to plant it at the base of my fig tree because it will just grow up my fig tree. So I don't even have to put any kind of wiring or anything like that. I'll just let it grow up it. Julie says, you were able to make another gardener happy. I was, because on Bid It, everything starts at $1. And so I put it on, and I said the bid would end, I think it was 3 days, because you can do it for 1 day, for 2 days, or for 3 days. And she was just so excited that she got it. And she works out of town, and she'll be back in tomorrow night. And so she's coming to get it tomorrow night. And so I was happy that she was so excited. And I thought, oh, good, somebody that will love my banana tree. But I also sold my orchid cactuses. And I had started those with just leaves. And what's the other? Oh, I sold my great big wisteria. No, it's not wisteria. Starts with an M. Great big leaves, great big plant. I sold that too. So I was kind of sad about that, but it's hard to move big plants back and forth, and none of my girls wanted there was just not space for how big they were, and so that's just the way it is. So we're ending the garden season. I think it's one of the best times of the garden because it's just like this explosion of all these things that you have worked all summer for. I mean, when I plant seeds and they start to come up, I'm just so excited of that total miracle of that. And then they just grow and grow and grow. And it's just like, I don't know, they're like your babies. And I just love that whole gardening experience through the year. And then when it comes to harvest time, you get to reap those benefits, I guess, of all your hard work. And I've had so many zucchinis. Um, I actually put them on Facebook, and people were so excited. I mean, I had small ones, bigger ones. I wish they had, I don't know, a little zucchini festival here, because so many people grow zucchinis, green ones, dark green ones, yellow ones, whole menagerie of different kinds of zucchinis. And it would be really fun to have who grew the biggest zucchini, who grew um, the smallest zucchini. I think you could just have so much fun with it. But somebody's got to do all that work. And honestly, I'm not ready to do all that work. I have these little notebooks. They're called So Not Your Average Maker. See, and there's scissors and a thimble and thread and stuff like that. And then when you open it up, each page, they have a needle and thread on this side, a spool of thread on this side. I'm going to give this away. So I am going to try to make StreamYard pick a winner. And I have the free version of StreamYard now. I used to pay for it, but the prices jumped up to like $400, and I just can't do that. And so I'm hoping it will pick a winner. I hope that's still one of the free things that it will do. And I will send this to you. I just thought it was just cute as can be. I got it at Hobby Lobby, and I thought, I'm going to share that. Nancy says, it takes time, it seems, to learn how to do the things again. I think that's true. Yep, it's always one of those things. See, I'll be doing the free version of StreamYard. Went nuts after it was sold. I know, crazy, 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 the price. I just think it's, yeah, see, I don't think it's working either. So, there is, okay, we'll just pick a number. I'm going to pick a number. I'm going to write it down, so you know I won't be changing it. Pick a number between 1 and 10, and the first person who picks what I wrote on here will be the winner. Wayne says, this is personal, but have you changed your mind about selling out on Arizona and just living in Wyoming? You don't need to answer. Oh, no, I'll answer. We got down there because when we went down in last October, we had all intentions of selling. But when I got down there, I told Jill, I just can't do it. Keep guessing because you guys haven't guessed yet. And there are many things where I'd like to live in one place. Many reasons. But you know, my mom and dad live right next to us. Cheryl, the winner. Cheryl, email me your physical address. Just a minute, let me get my email up there. And I will mail this to you, Cheryl. Thank you. Cool. That's when I'm writing Cheryl so I don't forget. So we got down there, and you know, we live right next to my mom and dad because they go down there in the winter. They have when we started going down there, they had been going down there for 25 years, and we've been going down there for 5 years. So they had basically been going down there for 30 years. And, you know, my mom is 88 and my dad is 94. And I guess I just couldn't not come down. I just wasn't ready. I went around that one roundabout and it was like, girl, it's not time yet. So I'll be gardening in two different places, and Joel will be golfing all the entire year. And that's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. Um, it says, I was hearing that cucumbers did very spotty in New York. Mm, that's interesting. Here, because it wasn't that warm for a long time. I mean, I've had a few cucumbers, but nothing like usual. And so I don't know if it was just because it was lots more rain and it was cooler and it was cool at night. It took a long time before it was over 60 degrees um, at during the nights. So I think maybe that can make a big difference. It's like you're growing tomatoes, right? But tomatoes, even though they like the hot, they like to be cool when it gets in the middle of the night. And if it doesn't cool enough, you'll find that your tomatoes aren't setting and the flowers are dropping and you're not getting as many tomatoes. And it's because it doesn't have that combination of warm days and cooler nights. And that's just a weird thing that happens to tomatoes. Rudy, how are you? Pray for the vineyard chicks. Okay. Oh, to quote 51 and 39 on their next live stream. I don't have anything to do with what they're quoting on. You're going to have to ask them, Rudy. It's true. So, we're almost at 30 minutes. I hope you had a great harvest, that finishing line is just right there, that you are just like, because gardening, always, some things are really good, some things aren't so good. It just depends on the soil, the weather, the seeds that you grew, the plants that grew from those seeds. It just can be crazy. And so it can make a big difference. But I hope overall you have been very happy with your gardening season this year. I have different videos coming up this week, including that one on frost, which I think you might find interesting because I did a lot of research on frost and I learned so many things. And is it really frost right at 32 degrees, or is it lower, or is it higher? And does the humidity make a difference? It's just all crazy. So I hope you guys have a great day. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for sharing a half hour with me. Cheryl, I'll send this out to you. Just send me over an email to make sure I have it. And I'll mail that tomorrow for you. And if you're gardening all year round, think about making some seed snails. Look at 25 plants in this little tiny area. I have so many plants downstairs, and at the end of this week, well, actually probably about the beginning of next week, I will plant all my pumpkins and watermelons, cucumbers, and these seed snails. But I don't want them too early or they get too big before I get to Arizona. So everybody have a great weekend. I hope you look forward to more videos. I hope your gardening season is fabulous. And I'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.